people have somehow convinced themselves that customer service exists to validate their refusal to read, take responsibility, or accept basic physics. What you're about to hear are 63 genuine complaints so profoundly detached from reality that they should make you feel genuinely clever for understanding how the world actually works. By the time we reach the end of this list, your faith in common sense won't just be challenged. It will be actively questioned by people who bought a product, refused to use it correctly, and expected someone else to fix their choice. 1. A customer purchased a slow cooker, complained that the food wasn't cooked after 10 minutes, and demanded a refund because the product description lied about cooking times. The description listed cooking times in hours. Plural. He'd plugged it in, set it to low, and stood there watching it like a microwave. 2. Someone ordered a left-handed keyboard, received it, and immediately called support because the keys were in the wrong order. They were attempting to use a standard QWERTY layout backward. The keyboard worked perfectly. His brain was the incompatible component. 3. A woman bought noise-canceling headphones, put them on, and called to complain that they made everything too quiet. She was upset that the headphones were canceling noise, which was apparently a betrayal of her expectations. What did she think noise canceling meant exactly? 4. A man purchased a domain name and called support, upset that his website wasn't working. Support asked what he'd done with the domain. He'd purchased it, that was it. He thought buying the domain automatically created a functioning website. No HTML, no host, no server, just the deed of ownership should have magically generated a website. 5. Someone complained that their smartphone screen was scratched and demanded the manufacturer replace it for free because they'd only used it normally. Normal use, it turned out, meant keeping the phone in a pocket with loose change and keys. Support politely explained that this was perhaps not the intended definition of normal. 6. A customer bought a fitness tracker and returned it claiming it was broken because it showed he'd only walked 2,000 steps despite running a full marathon in the morning. When pressed, he admitted the marathon was on a treadmill while he was watching television. He'd stayed in the same physical location. The tracker was working perfectly. 7. Someone purchased a VPN service and called to complain that their internet was slower than before they installed it. Support asked if they'd read the documentation. He hadn't. He thought purchasing a VPN meant his connection would be faster. He was angry that protection had a performance cost. Economics 101 apparently doesn't count as free education. 8. A man bought a gaming monitor and complained that the colors looked weird and oversaturated compared to his old monitor. His old monitor was a standard office display from 2003. The new one was color accurate. He'd accidentally clicked into professional color space mode. His brain, not the monitor, needed recalibration. 9. Someone ordered a bed frame and complained that it didn't fit properly in their bedroom. Support asked for measurements. The customer had measured wrong. His bed frame was fine. Geometry is apparently a suggestion. 10. A woman purchased a waterproof phone case and claimed it lied about being waterproof after her phone got wet. She'd submerged it in salt water at the beach. Salt water is more conductive than fresh water and more damaging. The case was rated for fresh water only. She didn't read it. But honestly, should she have? When does personal accountability ever factor in? The complaints so far have been merely absurd. Prepare yourself because it escalates rapidly. 11. Someone bought a pair of prescription glasses online and called support furious that they couldn't see properly. Support asked if he'd had a new eye exam. He hadn't. He'd simply guessed at his prescription because glasses are the same everywhere. Each set of eyes is unique. His remained the same. The glasses worked fine, just not for his guessed-at measurements. 12. A customer purchased a USB cable and complained it didn't work with her device. The device used a different connector type. She was angry that the cable was incompatible despite the product listing clearly stating which devices it was compatible with. She'd skipped past approximately 4 pages of specifications because text exists to be ignored, apparently. 13. Someone bought a book on Kindle and complained that it was too long and demanded a refund. The book was exactly as long as advertised. The page count was listed in the product description. He'd bought it, started reading, and suddenly discovered it would require effort to finish. Support denied his refund because the book wasn't defective. His expectations were. 14. A man purchased a telescope and called support complaining that it wasn't powerful enough to see aliens. He'd used it once, pointed it at the sky, and saw some stars. That's not how telescopes work. That's not how aliens work. That's not how anything works. 15. Someone signed up for a gym membership and complained after the first month that she hadn't seen results in her body despite going to the gym. Once. In 30 days, human muscles require consistent stimulus over weeks to show visible change. She'd gone one time. Her complaint suggested she expected her single gym visit to rearrange her cellular structure. 16. A customer bought a printer and called to complain that it never prints, demanding a replacement. Support asked him to clarify. When he printed something, the computer showed it was processing, but nothing came out. Support asked a simple question. Did he press print? He'd opened the print dialog and then just closed it. He thought opening the dialog was sufficient. The act of clicking buttons he didn't understand should have been enough. 17. Someone purchased a microwave and complained that it ruins all food because everything came out hot. She was angry that a heating device heated things. She wanted her microwave to selectively warm some portions while leaving others cold. This is not how thermodynamic physics works. 18. A man bought a VR headset and complained that he threw up 3 times while using it. He was upset at the product, not at himself. VR motion sickness exists. It's documented. It happens to susceptible users. He decided he was entitled to not experience this side effect and demanded the headset be taken back as defective. 19. Someone purchased airplane tickets online and arrived at the airport 3 hours after their flight had departed, demanding the airline rebook them for free. The confirmation email sat in his inbox for weeks. He'd never read it. He hadn't checked the date. The flight was scheduled exactly as purchased. But somehow, the airline was responsible for his decision not to plan. 20. A customer bought a whiteboard marker and complained that it doesn't work on anything. Support asked if she'd tried, a whiteboard. She'd only tried it on painted drywall and seemed genuinely confused that a whiteboard marker required a whiteboard. Why is specificity even a thing? We're 20 entries in, and the complaints are still mostly about reading comprehension and basic logic. It somehow gets worse. 21. Someone purchased a car and complained 6 months later that the fuel efficiency lied because she wasn't getting the advertised miles per gallon. Her driving habits? Aggressive acceleration, frequent idling, and highway speeds of 85 miles per hour. The fuel economy estimate was for normal driving patterns. She was driving like she was auditioning for a demolition derby, then blaming the manufacturer. 22. A man bought a mattress and returned it after 1 week, claiming it was terrible for sleep. Support asked how many nights he'd slept on it. 1. He'd bought a memory foam mattress and given it a single night before deciding his body and the foam needed no adjustment period. Body adaptation is apparently optional. 23. Someone purchased a standing desk and complained that their back still hurts after standing for 6 hours straight. They were expecting to stand all day without moving and feel better than sitting all day without moving. Standing desks require postural variation. They're not magic. She stood still for an entire shift and then acted shocked that her back objected. 24. A customer bought a video game and called support claiming it was broken because he couldn't beat the first level. He was unwilling to read the tutorial, unwilling to learn the controls, and apparently unwilling to accept that games require learning. He wanted to dominate the game through sheer force of will and rage-clicked blame at the developers. 25. Someone purchased noise-canceling foam panels and complained that her apartment was still too loud despite installing them on every wall. Her neighbor had a drum kit. Foam panels reduce echo. They don't teleport through walls to stop your neighbor from being a terrible person. The physics here are not negotiable, but she was very much willing to negotiate anyway. 26. A man bought an electric razor and complained that it doesn't shave close enough compared to his old blade razor. Blade razors are physically closer to skin. Electric razors are safer and require different expectations. He downgraded his expectations without accepting the trade-off. 27. Someone signed up for a meditation app and complained after 5 days that they still had anxiety. They'd paid for an app. Apps do not cure anxiety. Consistency over weeks and months might help. But 5 days of meditation doesn't reorganize your nervous system. Medicine exists. So does therapy. An app is a tool, not a cure. 28. A customer purchased a desk lamp and complained that the light was too bright. It had 3 brightness settings. She'd never touched the controls. She'd simply assumed the maximum setting was the only option and let it destroy her eyeballs for 3 weeks before calling to complain that a bright lamp was bright. 29. Someone bought a portable speaker and called support upset that the sound quality was cheap and demanded a refund. He'd purchased a speaker that cost $20. Economics dictates that a $20 speaker will not deliver studio-quality audio, but somehow he expected titanium components and audiophile engineering inside a device cheaper than a pizza. 30. A woman purchased an anti-slip bath mat and complained that it doesn't grip after 6 months of use. She'd installed it upside down. The grip material was on the bottom. She'd stood on the smooth side. Support politely explained that mat configuration matters, and no, she couldn't demand a refund for using it incorrectly. We've hit the 30 entry mark. The complaints began as merely stupid. They're now approaching the territory of stubborn refusal to accept reality itself. 31. Someone bought a budget smartphone and complained that it doesn't compare to the iPhone, demanding a price reduction. A budget phone and a premium flagship are different market segments. He wanted a luxury product at a poverty price. Economics is the culprit here, not the phone. 32. A customer purchased a subscription service and complained after 1 month that she hadn't used it much. She'd paid $20 and explored the platform once. She thought paying money obligated the service to create content she personally wanted to watch. Usage is her responsibility. The service's obligation was delivery, which it did. 33. Someone called tech support complaining that his router doesn't reach the 3rd floor. His house was old. The walls were thick concrete. Physics prevents Wi-Fi signals from penetrating certain materials efficiently. He was angry at radio waves for not defying the laws of electromagnetism for his convenience. 34. A man purchased a digital camera and complained that the photos looked not professional after 1 week of ownership. He'd never adjusted the settings. He'd never learned composition. He'd pointed the camera and expected professional results to pour out automatically. Skill is apparently a subscription service he hadn't purchased. 35. Someone bought a VPN and complained that it isn't working because Netflix blocked his account. Netflix detects VPN usage and restricts access. This is intentional. The VPN works fine. It's Netflix's right to enforce their terms of service. He was upset that a company protected their licensing agreements. 36. A customer purchased a plant and called support upset that it died, demanding a refund for a dead organism. She'd watered it twice in 3 months. Plants require regular care. She'd essentially starved the plant and then blamed the species for being fragile. Did she expect it to survive on apathy? 37. Someone bought a pair of wireless earbuds and complained that the battery only lasts 8 hours. The product listing clearly stated 8-hour battery life. She wanted 12-hour battery life from a device with a stated 8-hour battery. She'd read the spec and then decided her personal preference would override physics and chemistry. 38. A man purchased a cloud backup service and called furious that his files weren't automatically syncing. He'd never set up the sync function. He'd purchased the service and assumed it would read his mind and know which files to back up. Configuration is apparently a hidden feature that only activates if you complain. 39. Someone bought a laser pointer and was concerned that it was dangerous to eyes. That's the point. That's literally why laser pointers come with warnings. He'd read the warning, purchased it anyway, and then called to ask if it was dangerous. The product description had warned him. Twice. In bold text. 40. A customer purchased a dishwasher and complained that it doesn't clean dishes after running 1 cycle with the wrong detergent type. She'd used hand soap instead of dishwasher soap. She was angry at a machine for not functioning with the wrong fuel. That's not how appliances work. The escalation curve is bending upward now. Reality rejection is becoming almost artistic. 41. Someone bought a noise-isolating earbud case and complained that it doesn't work because she could still hear outside sounds slightly. Noise isolation is not the same as silence. Earplugs exist for a reason. She wanted complete auditory deprivation. An earbuds case is not a sensory deprivation chamber. 42. A man purchased a security camera and called upset that it didn't capture footage of a break-in. Support asked if he'd turned on the camera. He hadn't. He thought purchasing a camera and mounting it would automatically activate it through some kind of entrepreneurial osmosis. Off switches require a reason to flip. Apparently, that reason wasn't included. 43. Someone bought a water bottle with a straw and complained that it leaks because water came out when she squeezed the bottle really hard. Applying pressure to a sealed container with an exit point creates flow. Physics. She'd essentially asked why water doesn't defy the laws of pressure and fluid mechanics. 44. A customer purchased a video editing software trial and complained after 14 days that the software doesn't work anymore. The trial period had expired. That's what a trial is. A temporary access pass with an expiration date. She thought trial software was somehow permanently free and called to demand it work again. Generosity is not obligation. 45. Someone signed up for a budget airline and complained that they charged extra for luggage despite having paid for a flight. Budget airlines charge for extras. Food, luggage, seat selection. These are add-ons. The advertised price was the base fare. She'd paid the base and then acted shocked that anything additional required additional payment. 46. A man bought an outdoor security light and complained that it doesn't turn on during the day. It's motion-activated and light-sensitive. It's designed not to activate during daylight. He called it broken. It was working exactly as specified. Sometimes technology functions in ways that confound your expectations, and that's the technology being correct, not broken. 47. Someone purchased a sleep mask and complained that they couldn't sleep while wearing it. She'd worn it for one night. Sleep adaptation takes days. She'd done one trial run, failed to achieve immediate results, and demanded a refund. Improvement is apparently supposed to be instantaneous or fraudulent. 48. A customer bought a laptop and complained that it runs slow because he had 7 browser tabs open, 16 background programs, 32 software updates pending, and a screaming lack of available RAM. The laptop wasn't slow. His expectations were too fast. A machine cannot process infinite tasks at infinite speeds. Information technology obeys thermodynamic limits. 49. Someone purchased a smartwatch and called support upset that the heart rate monitor isn't accurate compared to a medical-grade device. Smartwatch sensors and medical equipment operate at different precision levels. He was comparing a consumer device to a hospital device and demanding identical results. That's not how measurement works. 50. A woman bought a noise-canceling noise machine and complained that it doesn't work because she could still hear her neighbor's dog. The machine creates white noise. It doesn't teleport through walls. It masks sound through audio generation. Her neighbor's dog exists in the physical dimension. The machine operates in the audio dimension. 51. Someone purchased a curved monitor and complained that the image appears curved when they look at it from the side. That's how curved monitors work. The curve is the entire point. He wanted the visual benefits of a curved monitor without accepting that his viewing angle would be affected. Cherry-picking physics is not negotiable. 52. A customer bought a book in a foreign language and called demanding a refund because she couldn't understand it. The product description specified the language. She'd purchased a Spanish novel without reading Spanish. The book worked flawlessly for the language it was written in. Her inability to read Spanish was not the book's failure. 53. Someone signed up for a weight loss program and complained after 2 weeks that the program doesn't work, despite not following any of the provided guidelines. He'd paid for a program. Programs are frameworks. Execution is the user's responsibility. He wanted the weight to vanish through the act of signing up and paying money. Hope is not a metabolism. 54. A man purchased a programmable thermostat and complained that his electric bill went up after installation. Support asked if he'd set the temperature. He'd set it to 68 degrees Fahrenheit permanently, 24 hours a day. He'd been running the air conditioning and heating simultaneously, often at the same time. The thermostat works perfectly. His settings were the issue. Technology is blameless when the user creates a paradox. 55. Someone bought a standing cell phone holder and complained that it won't hold their extra-large tablet. A phone holder is designed for phones. Bringing an object that's 5 times the intended weight and expecting a device not engineered for that weight to work flawlessly is a kind of hope that transcends mere optimism. It's reality rejection. 56. A customer purchased an air purifier and complained that air quality didn't improve outside of the room the purifier was placed in. An air purifier works on the immediate air around it. Open doors negate its effect. She'd turned it on, opened every window, left the door open, and then complained it didn't purify the entire neighborhood. Geography is involved in how air moves. 57. Someone bought a grammar-checking software and complained that it doesn't work because it keeps underlining my words. That's exactly what grammar software does. It identifies potential errors. Underlining is literally the feature. She'd purchased the intended outcome and then complained about receiving it. That's not product failure. That's user confusion. 58. A man purchased an email filter and complained that legitimate emails were being blocked and ending up in spam. Support asked if he'd tuned the filter settings. He hadn't. He'd set the filter to maximum security and then complained that emails were being filtered. That's the filter working exactly as maximum security dictates. Asking for maximum security while receiving no filtering is asking for paradoxical technology. 59. Someone called tech support and demanded a refund for their internet service because they didn't use much data this month and were charged full price. Subscription services charge a set monthly fee regardless of usage. That's what subscriptions are. She was angry at the concept of subscriptions for being subscriptions. She wanted to pay per use but had a usage-based plan. Her confusion was existential. 60. A customer purchased a chair and complained that it causes back pain because he'd been sitting in it for 12 hours straight without moving. Chairs are not designed for continuous use without postural variation. The human spine requires movement. He'd sat in a stationary position for half a day and blamed the chair for the laws of biology. His back is part of the design that requires care, not the chair. 61. Someone bought a password manager and called upset that they couldn't remember their master password after only using it 3 times. Password managers rely on you remembering one password. That's the security model. She was angry at the security feature for being secure. She wanted a password manager that didn't require a password. That's not a password manager. That's a contradiction. 62. A man purchased a meditation timer with a bell sound and complained that the bell startled him awake at the end of his meditation. That's what a timer does. It notifies you when time is up. He wanted a timer that timed without informing him that the timing was complete. A silent timer is called a clock that tells no one. 63. Someone called a software company and demanded a refund because they didn't download the update and couldn't find it in their app store. Support asked if he'd looked in the app store. He hadn't. He expected updates to appear in his notification center through sheer force of will. He was charged for a paid app. He received the app. The app was available for updates in the correct location. His unwillingness to look did not constitute product failure, at least not on the product's end. 63 complaints. That's 63 times that human beings have called customer support and insisted that the world bend to their refusal to read, think, or accept basic cause and effect. The through line in every single one is remarkable. Somewhere along the way, we've collectively decided that other people's jobs include making our poor choices work anyway. These aren't service failures. These are failures of people to take responsibility for their own decisions, their own attention, their own physical limitations, and their own ignorance of how things actually work. The saddest part? Every single complaint in this list is real. These conversations happened. Support staff listen to these demands with the same patient tone you're hearing now, trying not to laugh or cry. The question isn't why support teams broke, the question is how they're still standing. Which complaint genuinely shocked you the most? Or better yet, have you ever found yourself making a complaint that rivals one of these in spectacular absurdity? Comment below, because I guarantee you've either done this or watched someone else do it, and we all deserve to witness those moments of beautiful, unfiltered unreality together. If you made it through all 63, you've proven you have the patience of an actual support team member, so subscribe because you've clearly earned a medal for putting up with people. Thanks for watching.